Italy's on lockdown, airlines are cancelling flights, the economy is crashing and people are panic buying toilet rolls. Welcome to the coronavirus. Now we all know by now that COVID-19 is a virus which affects the lungs, and I have cystic fibrosis, a condition which primarily affects the lungs. Someone said this on Twitter the other day and I completely agree. If I pegged out from the coronavirus, I'd be really annoyed. After living with cystic fibrosis for 26 years of my life, a potentially life-threatening condition, and then COVID-19 comes along and I'm curtains. Anyway, a bit dramatic, innit? Now we all know the symptoms of the coronavirus by now. It's the fever, the shortness of breath and the dry cough. And I'm just like, that's a normal day for someone living with cystic fibrosis. People in the CF community have already started to get a lot of judgmental comments and dirty legs for coughing in public. And I'll be honest, my anxiety has gone through the roof with this one. Trying to hold coughs in and then feeling the judgment for when I finally do cough. And usually I have quite a dry cough anyway, so that doesn't really help, does it? No. I don't know about anyone else at the moment, but the slightest twinge, I'm like, is this COVID-19? Or is this just cystic fibrosis being a bitch? Who knows? If you see someone wearing a mask, gloves, goggles, a full-blown hazmat suit, then please know that a lot of chronically ill people need to wear these things in order to protect themselves. They are not overreacting with this. Think about that before you make any snide comments. Although I did see someone with a bucket on their head. I thought that was a bit much. Maybe they didn't have access to gloves or masks or goggles. Bucket will do. A lot of people now are going into self-isolation as the situation is evolving rapidly, and to be honest, I don't think I'm far behind. So I'm just editing this video, and obviously every single day we are getting new pieces of information. The latest piece of advice from the government and from the Cystic Fibrosis Trust is that people with CF are at a serious high risk and we need to be in self-isolation for 12 weeks. So for anyone who is healthy and only need to stay in isolation for 2 weeks, please stop being selfish if you are panic buying, because there are people who are chronically ill, like cystic fibrosis and other conditions, who need to be in isolation for 12 weeks. Just bear that in mind. Now, I've been informed that a CFer in Florida has contracted the coronavirus and has made a full recovery. Obviously, I don't know what state their CF was in beforehand. I just thought that was worth a mention. It's quite reassuring to hear that. I've also heard that there are 4 people who have CF who have the coronavirus in the UK, and they are doing reasonably well, one of which had 27% lung function, and they are doing pretty well. But as with everything online, you can't trust it completely. This was coming from an indirect source, so yeah, just bear that in mind. I thought it was very reassuring to hear. Whether it's true or not is a different story. Now, I've heard a lot of people saying that because we have cystic fibrosis, we have a low immune system, but apparently this is not true. The people who do have a low immune system, however, are the people who are on immunosuppressant pills after having a lung transplant, which means they take medication to suppress their immune system in order for their body not to go into rejection of their new lungs. And there's actually a fantastic video done by LEWINGTONS, who has had a transplant, who's on immunosuppressant pills and has now gone into self-isolation. I will leave a link to that below if you want to go and check that out. But obviously with us CFers, we have thick sticky mucus lining our airways, so if we breathe in a virus, then that virus is going to stick to our airways and cause a lot of havoc in our lungs. I still can't believe people aren't taking this seriously. It is mind-boggling, but there we have it. Apparently the coronavirus will affect our lungs by making all the dormant bugs in our lungs active, which would be pretty bad. Obviously, I don't know how true that is. This is just something that I've read up on. So if there is ever a time to increase your physio, is right now. Extra physio will obviously help to clear the lungs of mucus, so definitely step up on physio if you haven't already. I really apologise for the lighting in this, it's all over the place, but damn sun. A couple of other things to think about is to stockpile medication, get your reserve antibiotics just in case. I know my hospitals and other hospitals around the UK have started to cancel clinics and do them over the phone. Go online shopping if you can get any slots. If not, then get someone else to go to the shops and leave it on your doorstep for you. Obviously avoid non-essential travel, avoid close contact and socialising with other people. And if you are working, make contact with them to see if you can make some sort of arrangements to work from home or whatever if you can. I know a lot of unis have been shut down and schools and stuff. I can't believe we haven't, like, the government hasn't closed down everything by now. I can't believe we're not on a lockdown, but That's the UK government for you. I'm actually on a home monitoring trial called Project Breathe at the moment, so I have equipment to measure my temperature, which is 36.3. I think that's good. I think it has to be 37.8 maybe. It's good to obviously keep on top of monitoring yourself if you do have the equipment, and obviously keep in close contact with your CF team, your CF nurses, if anything does start to happen. And also try not to panic. I know a lot of people are, and just try and be sensible about this. I won't lie, it's a really worrying time. I am very, very scared and terrified of what's going to happen with this. But I think it's important to work together to keep the risk at bay, if you like. And of course, it's a really tricky one if you have CF and your partner starts to get symptoms or has been in connection with someone who has. What do you do then? I know people's partners have, you know, self-isolated themselves, they've gone to a different household where maybe there's not much of a risk, or some people are just sleeping in different rooms. A really, really tough one to figure out. So I've done a little bit of research into this. I'm not a medical professional, but there is something called ACE2 receptors in the cells. This is what lets the virus in, I believe, and it's usually found in the lungs or in the GI tract. And there are some blood pressure pills and ibuprofen which can increase the concentration of the ACE2 receptors in the cells. So if you have more ACE2 receptors, it will seem likely that there are more entry points for the virus to enter. However, there is lack of evidence for this, so I recommend you still keep taking your pills, but if you can change to paracetamol, then I would. Apparently, according to research from the Chinese government epidemiologists, I can't say the word, I'll put it up on the screen, the coronavirus can linger in the air for up to 30 minutes and it can travel 4.5 meters. It was also found that it can last for days on surfaces where respiratory droplets have landed, which of course raises the risk of transmission if unsuspecting people touch that surface and then touch their face. The length of time it lasts on a surface depends on factors such as temperature. For example, at 37 degrees, it can survive up to 2 to 3 days on surfaces like glass, plastic, metal, paper and fabric. In terms of how contagious it is, the estimate of the reproduction number is between 2 and 2.5, meaning that the average person spreads it to 2 or 2.5 people. For the seasonal flu, the reproduction number is 1.3. Obviously, I don't know how true this is, I'm not a medical professional, but I just thought it was worth a mention. It was quite interesting. Obviously, you've all heard this before, wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. I can't believe we are being told to wash our hands, like, what was everyone doing before? But it's imperative to do so, so the more people that do it, the more safer we will hopefully be. And if you can't wash your hands, then hand sanitizer is the way forward. If you can find the bloody things. They have all gone from the shops, I cannot find any. If you can't find any and you are in desperate need, then maybe look into making your own. Apparently vodka and aloe vera gel will do the trick just fine. Or just drink the vodka. Would that work? Washing your hands regularly can dry out your hands quite quickly, so I really recommend this hand cream. It's by a brand called CERAVE, I think that's how you say it, I'm not sure. Really recommend this stuff if you have really dry hands. Invest some time into cleaning down surfaces with alcoholic wipes, antibacterial wipes, whatever wipes you can get your hands on. You know, clean down stuff that you touch regularly, like light switches, handles, door handles, refrigerator handles, kettle handles, your phone, which you touch every single day and goes in all sorts of places. Give that a wipe down, especially if you are bringing your phone up to your face. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't realise how much I touched my face until this whole thing started blowing up. I've literally been holding back an itch on this side of my face for the last 3 weeks. I'm just like... Apparently wearing a mask won't protect you, it will just protect other people if you have the virus. But then I've heard that people are wearing masks, taking them off to cough, and I'm like, the f***? However, I have the Cambridge mask, which supposedly protects from bacteria and viruses. They are all out of stock, as you can imagine, but definitely pre-order one if you can. I think, well, last time I looked it was May that they were coming back in, but I'll leave a link below if anyone wants to go and check that out. The Cystic Fibrosis Trust have obviously put up a lot of advice on their website, and they've done a whole video about it, which I will leave that link below as well. You've probably all seen it by now. For me personally, I am quite worried about this. Obviously, having cystic fibrosis means that I'm at a higher risk. Personally, I've started taking necessary precautions. You know, I was supposed to be going to Barcelona. Thank God I cancelled that. I was supposed to go to a gig in London. I sold my tickets for that, only for the show to be postponed anyway. And you know, I'm asking other people to go to the shops for me, or if I do go to the shops, if I touch the trolley or a basket, then hand sanitizer straight away. So yeah, really just trying to limit my contact with people and just be sensible about it. Another tip, go contactless on your card if you are going shopping. Don't type in your PIN, because those things are riddled with bacteria and other people been touching them. So go contactless if you can. And if you are getting anxious about this, I really recommend staying off social media and staying away from the fake news. I've seen so many things go around on Facebook, like there was one that says to test if you have the coronavirus you have to hold your breath for 10 seconds, and if you can't do that then you have the coronavirus. And I'm like, why are people sharing this? It's a load of rubbish. Stay away from it all. Just stick to the NHS website. Panic buying in the UK is absolutely crazy. I mean, out of all the things to buy in a crisis, people are stocking up on toilet rolls. You think you go for like the sustainable tinned food, but nah, not in this country, mate. We need clean bums, apparently. I mean, I was in Sainsbury's the other day and the whole toilet roll aisle was completely empty. A guy in the same aisle turned around to me and he said, "This is mad, I've never seen it like this. We'll just have to use the Daily Mail instead, won't we?" And walked off. I was like, yeah, fair comment. I think it's important now more than ever to shop local, support local businesses in this time where businesses are shutting down and, you know, self-employed people are struggling to, you know, support themselves. So shop local if you can. I do feel like people are being quite selfish with this and buying 6 months worth instead of, you know, 2 weeks worth. And this is the issue when people have, you know, underlying health conditions or the elderly go to shop, there's nothing there for us. And we're the folks who need it more. Leave some for us. It kind of feels like it's an apocalyptic movie, but it's in real life. It's weird. It's stressful. I also think it's really important to check on your elderly neighbours, or, you know, neighbours who have a chronic illness, an underlying health condition. Just check if they're okay, if they need anything, if you need to, you know, pick them up anything from the shops. I feel like that would go a long way for a lot of people. So as we know, if you are healthy, you are more likely to experience a mild case of COVID-19 and recover pretty well. But the reason that everyone should be self-isolating is because that there is a chance that the healthy people could pass it on to the more vulnerable people, and then that in turn would stretch our NHS to breaking point and possibly increase the death tolls. So I think personally everyone should be on lockdown. That's just my thoughts on it though. I feel like that's the only way it's going to be contained. There are some people with chronic illnesses who have been doing this for a very long time. This is their normal. The fact that healthy people are panicking over isolating and washing hands regularly and taking the necessary precautions, you know, this is normal for a lot of us. And I just hope people start to understand how lucky and privileged they have been to have and lead healthy lives. You know, I've heard all sorts on social media, people saying that, you know, you don't need to worry because the only people who are really going to be affected are the people with underlying health conditions. And it's like, the only ones. So we're like, we're not that important. Is what? Bit ignorant, innit? I did have a thought the other day, like, what if this was all just a Darren Brown experiment, social experiment, and the coronavirus doesn't exist? It's food for thought, isn't it? At the end of the day, we just need to be vigilant, we need to be considerate, and we need to be calm and sensible with this whole thing. You know, take precautionary measures. You know, for me personally, I will be self-isolating as much as possible. I have massive respect for doctors and nurses and GPs and everyone working in the hospital who are putting themselves at risk, putting themselves on the front line. Just massive respect to you guys. And if you do need to self-isolate, you can watch Netflix, you can watch my YouTube channel. You got options, haven't you? You got options. Oh my god, it's happening! Hashtag CF life. If you made it to the end, then give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, let me know your thoughts on this whole thing, and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in the next one. I just can't believe people have stopped buying Corona beer. Like, they think the virus is in it or something. Some people are thicker than two short planks.